The situation in Haiti is growing more dire. At least a dozen people are dead following gang attacks near the capital of Port-au-Prince. While some Americans have been evacuated, more are desperately looking for ways to escape. For more on this, let's bring in Mario Delatour. He's a documentary producer and director currently based in Haiti. He directed a documentary film in the wake of Haiti's 2010 earthquake. Mario, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Can you describe what the situation is there right now? One of the things that is especially heartbreaking now is to see the violence that is happening in Port-au-Prince make life beyond just the violence insecure for people who are just looking for basic necessities like food and water. What is the situation in the capital as you understand it now?
Well, for the time being, it is very quiet as opposed to what we went through yesterday that I would describe as a harrowing day. Yesterday was, in fact, a very bloody day. The reason being that gangs descended on the better parts of Port-au-Prince and wreaked havoc, which caused the town, which is right below where I live, to be shut down completely, meaning no access to supermarkets, no access to fuel. So, and the average men are scrambling to protect themselves. So it was a bad day yesterday. So this morning, I think people are taking their precautions.
You've been traveling back and forth to Haiti over the past 50 years or so. And I know we're talking about the violence that we're seeing now and saying, you know, over the past couple of weeks, it's been pretty bad. But this has actually been going on for a long time and the world has not been paying attention. So I'm curious about the changes that you have seen, particularly when it comes to leadership and whether or not leadership has been able to help or harm in terms of the situation.
Well, since Baby Doc left in 1986, we're talking a good 38 years, Haiti went through a slew of military regimes, civilian regimes, and it just seems that it got worse and worse and worse and worse. This is by far the worst that I have seen in all the years that I've been affiliated with Haiti. It's a complete dismal failure as we speak. Leadership is really lacking.
So you know, people, Mario, will understand the historical context that places Haiti at the center of a revolutionary movement in world history that brought independence movements across Latin America, across some African countries. And what people are going to try to understand is putting aside what happened in the years after the Haitian Revolution in 1804. But let's just talk about, you did a documentary on this devastating earthquake that happened in 2010. Haiti before the earthquake was getting by. What has happened since the earthquake?
Well, there was a lot of hope of reconstruction. There was a lot of, we heard of great numbers of dollars that had been earmarked for reconstruction. Unfortunately, we saw very little of that. We saw the construction of a few governmental buildings, but not much has really came about since the earthquake. And so it saddens me because this is a country, my parents, for instance, ran a tourist business, an art gallery in the 70s. And most of you will find this very hard to believe, but Haiti had a quite flourishing tourist business industry in the 70s. Now there are no businesses at all. All businesses are closed. People have emigrated in droves. And so it's pretty desperate. It is very, very desperate. I have never seen anything remotely close to this, and I'm no stranger to Haiti.
You know, after the earthquake, and Vlad did a lot of coverage of this, there was a lot of money poured into Haiti. But we don't see evidence of that. Where did that money go?
That's the $64,000 question. Where did all that money go? There was a scandal with the American Red Cross that had collected a lot of money but they only had a few houses to show for it. So people are just wondering, just as you are, what happened to all of this money?
So Mario,
Money
before we
that could have been used.
So before we let you go, let's talk about the Caribbean nations and the United States that are, for better or worse, deciding what Haiti's future should be, specifically as it comes to Ariel Henry, who has now stepped down as prime minister. Just again, for context, the idea of other nations deciding what a sovereign nation should do as far as leadership is concerned, what does that mean to you? And ultimately, given that the gangs wanted Ariel Henry to step down, and he has, what now? What next?
The complication, it seems, is that the gangs have distanced themselves from what went on in Kingston, Jamaica, and I'm referring to the CARICOM meeting to set up a presidential council. The gangs have really distanced themselves to the point of saying, that doesn't really concern us. Well, that concerns all of us here because on the ground, the gangs are the ones who have the firepower. Meanwhile, presidential council seems to be on the way. Whether or not that will work, we need to wait and see.
It's such a conundrum because we're talking about gangs, we're talking about criminal organizations, right? They should not be participating in any sort of reconstitution of the government. But can you have a council? Can you establish this council without them agreeing to scale back the violence that we're seeing?
It's a tough question, and and Mario and I were speaking on the phone before the show. You know, the reality is that these gangs are getting their weapons from somewhere,
right.
And ultimately there are larger forces at work. When it comes to what some people are now calling, Mario, you probably know this, some people have scolded me online for saying that these are no longer gangs, they're paramilitary groups, given the amount of firepower
and money
that they have. Mario Delatour, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. We really appreciate it. Please stay safe and stay in touch with us.
Thank you very much.